Hey guys, I'm Mama Bear to Many. I am mom to 14 children. 12 of my children are still at home, and today I'm just going to go over a little bit about type 1 diabetes. I do not know a lot about it. I am just being like brutally honest. I do not know much. What I do know is what is at my heart and my soul, and that is, it's like, let food be thy medicine, right? Like, so let food be your medicine. That's like an ancient saying by Hippocrates, and I truly believe that, because the Bible says in the beginning that God created food like for us. He also mentioned that, I have a truck going by, that he created the herbs of the field. So he created the herbs of the field, and he also created the food like for our souls. So the way that I feel is that if God didn't create it, then it's a little bit further away from creation. So the best foods that we can eat are foods that God created, like the fruits, the vegetables, the herbs, all the loveliness that God created. And then that moves on to like next step being like meat. He created animals to eat the grass and to eat the vegetation, and that is the best form of your meat that you can get, is something that is eating things that God created it to eat. God didn't create animals to eat, you know, pelletized food that has like all this stuff inside of it. He didn't create animals to eat like the craziness that they're just fed through a pellet and to be injected and all these things. So that's my standard. So when I say to you guys that we're trying to figure out things for my daughter, who is now a type 1, has type 1 diabetes, it's coming from that background, and that background has always served us really well. Myself, my husband, and my children, none of us are on medications. It has been at least 5 years. So since, I think that probably 4 of my children have been on a medication since we moved here, and that was 16 years ago. 4 children out of 14. Aside from my son who was disabled, I think that's pretty good odds. Like, as far as like sickness goes, like, we're not on regular medications for anything. We are trying to let food be our overall medicine. That said, I feel like there's a time and a place for medication. I mean, obviously, type 1 diabetes, your pancreas stops making insulin completely. So you're going to need some insulin, right? So, but it doesn't mean that I can just say, I want to be like 100% insulin dependent, or have my daughter be 100% insulin dependent and not care what she eats. I care what she eats. So my thoughts are this. And I'm trying to research in this ball field. There is so many different scopes, and this is just my thoughts and my opinions, and you guys can like take it and be like, that is not what I think, and that's okay, because we're different people. We're in this society now that like everyone has to think the same, and I don't think that everyone has to think the same. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion, and that's okay. This is just what I'm doing in my journey with my daughter. So that said, it's easy if I were to take a package and look on the back of the package, and so the insulin goes by carbs, if you don't know that. So to look at the back of the package and for it to say, okay, this package is 22 carbs, and then do my division for the carbs. So basically they have, our basic thing is she gets insulin, it's called a long day insulin, and the long day insulin she gets, and then it takes her all the way through, and that's one amount. And then she has a short day insulin that needs to be taken when she's eating meals. That is best given if it's given to her prior to her eating, and we actually have times depending on the amount of where her blood sugar currently is. Say her blood sugar was like in the 250s, it might be that I have to wait like 20 minutes before she can eat after she's had her insulin. So we're trying to do it like that. This is why it's really difficult. I'm doing this video to kind of answer some questions or some comments that I've got from some people, just like, why is it so hard for me to manage to like put this all together? But I'm trying to give you like the whole scope of everything, and a lot of it has to do with like our thoughts on what food is and how our body works and that type of stuff. God created our bodies, and he did such an awesome job even in her sickness. If you go in DKA, it's because your body is protecting your brain and your vital organs from decay, which is really cool. So even in sickness, there's like this resistance to protect those areas. That's a God thing. Okay, so basically her insulin needs to be given before. So in order to decide her insulin that needs to be given at that meal, I need to know exactly what her meal is going to be and exactly how much she's going to eat. If she does not eat her whole meal, then I have to try to get her to eat something else to make up for the carbohydrate ratio that I've already given her insulin for. If not, she could drop really low. So it is a lot easier to look at a package and say, oh, I think she's going to eat this whole package. This is 22 carbs. Let me take that 22, and currently we're at 10. So, okay, I need to divide that by 10 and then divide that number by 2, and that's the amount of insulin that I need to do. And by the way, this number keeps changing until we get the ideal number. Until we get the number that's perfect for her. We started at 20, then 15, now we're at 10. So we're trying to figure it all out. So, yeah. Okay. Yeah. You walking past?
Yeah, I'm just walking.
Okay. So, please
doing this.
We're not talking about wood right now. I'm talking to them about diabetes.
Can I just help you?
If you're gonna help me, you can sit right here next to me or on my lap.
Can I kneel?
You can kneel, yes. So, that said, everything, please don't copy exactly what I'm saying, okay?
I just want to do something.
It's my turn right now. Okay. I will show you while I talk. Okay, so basically every real food, as in meat, vegetables, all that type of stuff, has a carbohydrate ratio. So how many carbohydrates are in it? So yes, everyone can see the kitty. Yes, I see you. Yes, okay. Has the amount of carbohydrates that are in it. So we are trying to figure out, but things that are not in a package you need to weigh out. So say she wants a good one is just, for instance, yogurt. So if she has different types of yogurt, it could be huge amounts of carbohydrates, and we have decided not to go huge amounts of carbohydrates. I have looked at a bunch of stuff. One thing is from Dr. Bernstein, and he mentions a lot about a carbohydrate diet. Okay, I gotta be quick. I told her to go take a picture of the hay for me. All right, so basically we have to weigh out to find out all her carbohydrates. So for instance, like I have to weigh out an ounce of blueberries is 3.8 carbs. Okay, so we're weighing out, let's see, 3/4 of a cup of certain types of yogurt. So the Greek yogurt that we found that's low carb is 7 grams plus the 3.8 for the blueberries, plus the granola on top, which we found one to buy that's keto that's 7 grams. We have not made our own granola yet. Those are all things that are working in progress for us. Then I would have that, and I would do the math off of the total for that meal. But I also would have to account for, she has been so hungry. She lost a lot of weight during this whole period. Well, a lot for her. She lost like 7 pounds, I think. It depends. I thought that she lost like 4, but then different scales, different whatever. So anyway, she lost some weight. and she needs to regain that weight, and that's really important. And because her body is actually functioning the way that it should be functioning, she is eating so much more. So it's so like confusing, because it's like, okay, she never would have eaten this amount before, and now she's eating a ton, and she actually is wanting real foods, which is awesome, like huge, like big amounts of real foods. So like she would eat more than me some days. Like for the yogurt, she would actually eat 2 portions of yogurt, which would be a whole cup and a half. A cup and a half of yogurt. She would eat 3.8 ounces of blueberries, and then she would eat a 1/4 cup of granola, and that would be her snack, and I would figure her carbs off of that. Now, say she didn't eat all of that. Say she was still hungry. I couldn't give her more food without giving her another injection. Or if she, can you take a picture of the swing too? I didn't get a picture of the swing yet.
I just put it on there.
She'll help you. She's with somebody else too. So if she didn't eat them all, then I would have to figure out a way that she could get those carbs in really quick so she didn't drop too low. So like I might say, okay, how about you can have a half a banana, 1/4 a banana, something like that of real food. So all of that is very confusing. If she wanted more food, she would need to have another injection, and most of the time she didn't want to have another injection or whatever. So I try to like over carb it, or like I have to really think of how much she's going to eat, and I'll ask her like, do you think you'll eat all this much or this much? And we're trying to keep her carbs under 30 per meal, which she still is having carbs. We're just keeping it under 30. So it's very different. I think it's hard too, because people who have type 2 diabetes maybe don't understand what I'm trying to do. And even people with type 1, some people, you know, I joined a couple groups because of this, and they'll just give their kids like sugar cereal and just account for it and give them more insulin. I just don't think that our bodies need insulin, but we personally should not be eating sugar cereal for breakfast every morning, because it's not good for our bodies. It's not good for our own sugar levels without having diabetes. So I don't want to do that to my child who is having difficulties with her insulin. We believe in real foods. And yes, there is a place for medicine. I know, I am not ignorant. I know that my daughter is going to be on insulin. She's a type 1 diabetic. I understand that. And with all of this, I just want to say that the doctors are so pleased and happy on the foods that she's eating, and the insulin and all that type of stuff. We're still navigating. We're still pinching it out. We're still figuring it out. And it's going to be different. At the same time, like, this is our journey. Like, it's just like, it's made me think, like, am I treating my children with ice cream? Why am I doing that? Because like it's part of society, or am I wanting to make them feel special? Because there's so many other ways that I could make them feel special. We could have a tea party, like we could go outside and play a game, we could go on a hike together. There's tons of things that we could do to spend that quality time together, rather than like giving them food. And in our society right now, it's like food is the thing. Like food makes you excited. It, you know, it has these chemical compounds in it that makes you want more. And we just live in a society that unfortunately is the healthcare, you know, all around, just personal health and everything has just depleted. There's so much like infertility, there's so much sickness, there's so much, all these things going on. But God, like in the beginning, he gave us food, and he didn't give us food to become sick. He gave us food like to nourish our bodies, right? A lot of times we pray and we ask the Lord to use this food like for our nourishment, and we should be eating food that's going to nourish us. So that is it for the day. Now, if you guys do not believe the same as me, I still care for you. I really do. I have so many friends that, you know, their kids might not have the same diet as our kids, and that's okay. We can be different people. I 100%, that's your journey. This is our journey. I'm sharing our journey mainly because people have asked and were curious, like, why am I having such a hard time with this whole food issue? Like, just feed your kid and give them insulin. So this is the journey that, like, we're going through right now. So I am just sharing that. So I hope y'all have a blessed day. And if you have a child with type 1 diabetes, I would love to hear about it down in the comments below. And if you did like a low carb type diet with them, I'd love to connect with you because there's not a lot of information out there. And yeah, hope y'all have a blessed day.